Businesses on the international and smaller scale have to adapt to meet targets for reduced carbon emissions. The conference took place as the calendar began the countdown to the Climate Change Conference in Copenhagen in December. Innovations such as the smart grid, a means of using renewable energy to its maximum effect, were a big talking point.
So when you've got renewable energy resources, things like wind and solar energy, the wind energy is there when the wind's blowing, and the solar energy is there when the sun's shining. We've got increasingly better storage devices, but actually there's a lot of potential for wastage. So the smart grid can avoid all of that. So the utility can match up when the demand is there with when the actual requirement, the actual energy is there, and the renewable energy resources are available.
Agreements reached at the international conference in December will have a major impact on business policy.
Well, the only two I can ever remember are
Copenhagen is crucial for business. I mean, the outcome and the decisions made at Copenhagen will determine the direction of the business community going forward for the next sort of decade or more.
British government departments have emphasised the need for the reduction in carbon emissions. This applies in daily life, and the Energy Saving Trust is operating a campaign to improve driving techniques.
It's really just to give people a little bit of information about smarter driving. It gives us a sort of a tool that we can sit down, run through some of the tips, and they can start to try about thinking and putting those into practice. So it's things like predicting what's ahead of you on the road, changing gear at the right number of revs. It's just a tool basically that we can talk around that just helps the tips sink in a little bit more into their sort of daily lives, I think, really.
The individual driver can also notice improvements in saving on fuel consumption. Taken over a year and multiplied by thousands of drivers, the potential saving is considerable.
They estimate that if you adopt the tips of smarter driving, that you can actually save between 10 and 15% on your fuel. To the average person, that equates to around £220 per year, which in itself might not be a fantastic amount, but it can still go to make a real difference to individuals. So it's something that people are thinking about more and more.
Energy saving measures have become a priority for many governments. A new area of business has developed in the past decade, dealing in renewable energy. This is likely to grow further still as the priorities of coping with climate change become more pressing.